clean money, I count stacks with these dirty hands. Do a show, cop the rack with my new advance. 50 bands, 80 bands, 100 bands. I'm the American dream. We the American dream. No money, no class, look at them.
I sound it.
Okay, I'm back to school, you. This is open campus. This is, I should slap it open-handed. Of life, I told her motto, she need lower standards. Asked her if she had a twin, I feel like Joey Tanner. Big spender, Chris Jenner, I promote the family. Kardashian, see the Benzo, she like, oh, it's happening. Think she called me, cause she never knew her daddy. And my all black, Rhythm Nation, Janet, boy, don't make me Jackson. Bodily, what's underground, what's underground, frontin' like a ride with the mob. Why shouldn't I charge me, myself, and I? Play the odds, a yes man, it's just a bobblehead.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is
Coach, we find ourselves at the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, for this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Tonight, we wrap a busy first week of the season with a second of two on a Monday night between the Buffalo Bills and the Denver Broncos. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. So here come the Bills on offense for the first time. They'll be led onto the field by their 6'6" quarterback, the former Air Nick Foles.
And each time I sit down to evaluate Nick Foles, I end up tipping my cap to him because this guy has experienced some highs in the NFL, gone to the Pro Bowl as a starting quarterback, had a year where he had 27 touchdown passes, only 2 interceptions, led a team to the playoffs. But he had some lows as well. He's been benched, been a backup along the way. But at the end of it all, Super Bowl 52 MVP will always be etched next to his name.
And to the tight end here, Safarian Jenkins. A gain of 6 there on first.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a second and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. The former Indiana Hoosier here, Tevin Coleman. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
He'll be dropped shy of the 40 despite an excellent display of footwork. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Here's Foles. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. His first catch, good for 8 and a first down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Coleman now. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. Derek Wolfe there on the tackle.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And he hits his man, Matthews. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. A gain of 26 on the 3rd down conversion. And a nice start there to the aerial attack to pick up the first.
And I think preseason is officially over now. Getting into the groove of the regular season, that's a great way to get started. First drive of the season, what a nice completion.
And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it. They love it because now everyone gets locked in. The confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well. And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments and doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Here's Coleman. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers pointing their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And the holder's going to keep it. He's going to try to run for it. Oh, now he bowls him over. And they are going to stop him on 4th and 1 as they'll wind up going backwards. They pass up the 3, fake it. It doesn't work.
I know coaches always tell us that they make decisions about these types of plays, this type of a fake, earlier in the week to take the emotion out of the deal. I don't know that that was really true here. This one felt like all of a sudden, hey, I have a feeling about let's go ahead and get it, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, I know one thing. They wish they had it back.
Yeah, they certainly do, but the buck stops with the head coach on that one. He has to green light that attempt.
Detroit! Detroit! Gone! 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 Gone!
Now back to throw. And his throw is incomplete. Pretty solid coverage there by the All-Pro Richard Sherman, able to get a hand in.
We talk all the time about playmakers on offense, but let's face it, there are plenty of playmakers on defense, too. I think we just saw an example of one, didn't we? Not force that incompletion.
Yeah, he's a great corner. They got a couple of them on that side of the football. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Tre'Davious White with a pick, and his guys will take over at the 30-yard line.
Well, I get what he was trying to do. He was moving to his right and trying to shift the coverage, but instead he shifted the coverage also to the right and threw right into it for an interception.
Now the Bills offense gets ready to head back onto the field. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. 15 yards that time, and a Buffalo first. A starting drive number 2 off on the right foot. Completion for the first down. Drive 1 is they had to be pretty frustrating because they moved the football. They just didn't get any points out of it.
Well, warm-up QB, too. Let's bring in the backup. I mean, my goodness, you take them downfield, you don't score points. You know I'm being totally facetious here, right? I'm just kidding. Nice first drive. Rarely do teams score on every single drive in a game, but they like what they did there. They just hope they can pay it off this time with some points.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get it inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. And he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now.
Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling them in the huddle right now.
Now Foles. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
And his kick is good. And the Bills will take a 3-0 lead. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense. It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock Galvin away and bring up second down.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 19 yards that time for number 19. He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection. Maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some concern because once you start in a certain pattern, you wonder, can you get out of it? And that flips the other way, too, when you're throwing it really well. In this case, now he's got his first completion. They think he might be off to the races.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Fuller brings it in over the middle. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
So 1st and 10 now in Buffalo territory at the 44. The pitch goes to Barkley. And he's going to take it down to about the 35 here. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge? Whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football. If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
And he'll be touchdown here, but not before he does pick up the first. He'll wind up getting 2 there as he does it himself and picks up the first.
I don't know about you, but I like this call. 3rd and inches, and instead of worrying about getting it back to a running back and maybe there's some penetration from the defensive front, just go ahead and take it, move forward, and pick up the first down.
And as we say often, shows confidence in your offensive line.
Delay of game, offense.
And that'll set them back 5.
Still first down.
Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15. After the penalty, they go with Barkley. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Tackle made there by Jordan Poyer. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at him.
And he's going to have the hook up to Sutton. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back there as it'll leave them with a 3rd and 5.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go.
And they take him down. The Bills get to him. Matt Milano with a big-time sack on 3rd down. And it'll be a loss of 7. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage. coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
And his kick is good. Oh, he just did tuck it into the bottom of that left corner. And that will tie us at 3-3. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone, get you 6?
Getting set to go again, we get a peek at Kelvin Benjamin as he heads back out there now. And you look at the numbers, not only has he not caught a pass, they haven't targeted him yet, and we're coming up toward halftime.
And you remember our meeting with the coach beforehand? What did he tell us about him? I write his number on my play sheet, and I circle it in bold type because I want to make sure he gets the ball and often.
Foles. Look, he had it and lost it there, and it'll be second down.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Going underneath, it's Coleman. And a pretty little juke move there on a nice gain. 1:57 to go in this first half. Back to Denver right after this. And we remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll hand things off to the coach, Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have a look back at a very intriguing opening weekend in the NFL. They'll drop to throw. And he finds Safarian Jenkins. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. Coleman. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. It's a pickup of 17 on that one and a Bills first down. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. This is Coleman. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 15 yards that time, and a Buffalo first.
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
He'll look to throw. And Matthews over the middle with a grab. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. As they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Left side, caught by Matthews. Now the Bills will use the second of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Foles now nearly perfect. 9 of 10 in this first half. It's 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Funches with a catch over the middle. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. Devin Funches, a 15-yard touchdown grab. And the Bills are in for 6.
And that lead is now 7 with a chance to go to 8 or more if they want to get crazy here, which we don't expect. But I just know the way the game's being played with the analytics, there's going to be a lot more going for 2 in a lot of situations, isn't there?
Yeah, there's going to be. And I think their focus here, they don't want to give up anything going into the lockers on the other, and just a little bit of time left on the clock.
Yeah, they don't want to do anything to erase the good feeling they have right now by getting this late score in the half.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Jack, Patriot!
They'll come out throwing here on first down. Flush to his right. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Now we'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. As the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5. They're going to look to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 44. And it's a terrific return here as he's going to have them set up with a 1st and goal right at about the 6-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense.
And this is caught for a Bills touchdown. Devin Funchess, already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Bills will extend their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the 2nd quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the 2nd half.
And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. He and his team, they have had a rough go of it here in this first half. Maybe time for him to put his foot down here in the 2nd quarter.
Put his foot down and become a little more accurate throwing the football. He's already thrown 2 interceptions. He's trying to find a way to equal things out. And instead of it going to the opponents, get it to his own receivers and find the end zone.
Yeah, you mentioned those 2 picks. No touchdown passes yet either. Being chased out left. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. Now before this 2nd down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. They'll set up a throw. They'll set up the screen to Barkley. And give him 3 on the screen. He couldn't break free, and it's 3rd down. Now a timeout. 7 seconds left in the first half. The Broncos on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This time it's 3rd and 3. They'll set up to throw. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens.
Gone, gone! Gone, gone! Detroit! Detroit!
They'll throw now on the final play. Going up top. And this is going to be incomplete. All right, we will save the Week 1 highlights and apparently get right back to the action here in the 3rd. So we've reached halftime with the visiting Bills taking the lead to the locker room. Isaiah McKenzie now on the return. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this 3rd quarter. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned into 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down, it caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't begin. So now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Fuller. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one goes for 24 yards. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. And the Bills are going to get him as he goes down. Akeem Spence able to swamp him from that defensive tackle spot for a loss of 5. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that.
And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off near the 44. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice gain right there on 1st down for them. Brings up a nice 2nd down for them.
And he'll be taken down at the 34. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
I saw Von Miller in college at Texas A&M, and all I kept hearing about was his speed off the edge to the quarterback. But what impressed me, his balance and his ability to take on blocks and be a force in the run game, as we just saw there.
So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the 3rd quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
And Denver getting set to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Back to throw here. And this one's incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Open man is Henderson. That's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That one good for 13 and a Denver 1st down.
Good route, good pickup for 1st down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover, the angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup. Well, if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
They'll look to throw here. Over the middle, complete. That's Fuller. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A good pickup there, 26 yards. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Akeem Spence in there to get him for his second sack of the night.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
They'll look to throw. Over the middle, he finds Henderson, complete. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. Denver has a first down on the 15-yard play.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a first down.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up, 2nd and 10. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Over the middle, he's got Deshaun Hamilton. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tougher.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. It's the former Seahawk, Richard Sherman. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
They begin the drive with Coleman. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Coleman. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll make it 3rd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 11 yards and a Buffalo first down.
Like so many tight ends nowadays, they have no problem at all putting him in the slot and letting him go to work. And that's a nice pitch and catch right there for a first down.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Caught, Safarian Jenkins, right side. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
You're not you when you're losing. Snickers satisfies.
Welcome back now to Denver. It's the Bills with a lead and the football here to begin the 4th quarter. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be met at about the 43. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down. As we get late in this one, is altitude a factor for a visiting team in Denver? Is that something that's overplayed?
No, it's real, and I know a lot of the visiting teams like to downplay it because they don't want to get into the heads of their players, but you can't avoid it. As soon as you get to the locker room, you get to the stadium, they open there. Welcome to Denver. Altitude 5,280 feet. The air is rare. But we're used to seeing the guy that you consider the number 1 receiver double covered. But how about this guy? He's double covered and finds a way to make the play for a first down.
That's how you increase your Madden rating, right?
No doubt about that at all. And you know something? I think we'll hear about that from him soon. Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage. I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
And Denver getting set to take the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done. I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last two drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
Now back to throw. Fuller brings it in over the middle. The quick slant, good for a first down, a gain of 12. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
He'll drop to throw. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. And his throw here's incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Back to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. Looking to throw. And this is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Bills are going to take over in excellent field position. Well, at this stage of the game in the second half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter? It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
They will run again with Coleman. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down. Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. So it's Bills football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On third down, it's Coleman. And a short gain down to about the 33. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice. An ambitious effort, but it's well short. And this score will stay right where it is.
Distance was never an issue, not in this mile-high air. But it doesn't matter what elevation you're at if you don't put it on target. And this one kind of takes off on him.
And Denver getting set to take the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. He'll look to throw. Sutton reeling it in on the left side. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. Give them 14 yards there and a Denver first down. They'll look to throw now on first down. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Trent Murphy in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle.
Lucky 56.
They'll drop the throw. And now here is another interception. It's the former Seahawk, Richard Sherman. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.